This recording is all about Lab 1, Part A, an introduction to ArcGIS Pro, which we see on the screen in front of us. Arc Pro is the updated new version of the old ArcGIS desktop. So if you're familiar with desktop, it looks different, but functions similarly. You'll recognize some things. If you're not familiar with desktop, congratulations, everything's a lot easier in here. When you open Pro for the first time, as you're directed in the lab, the first thing that it might confront you with is a sign-in screen. If it doesn't confront you with that screen, then you might see in the top right corner, not signed in. We have to fix that first. The way Arc Pro is licensed is that you sign in with an authorized account, and then you can do all the fun ArcGIS stuff inside. This is different for those familiar with old Arc, where each individual instance of the program being installed on an individual computer would have to be licensed. In this case, it's networked. It works with your authorized account that you have on wherever you are at your institution, your place of work. Maybe you bought it personally, whatever it might be. So for those following along at UMass, our UMass accounts are all activated. They all have authorization to use ArcGIS Pro. If you're following along elsewhere, check with your institution, your instructor, your boss, whoever has given you ArcGIS Pro access. No matter what, we got to sign in. So when we click the sign in button, a little pop-up shows up. I'll make sure that we can see that here. You have two options for logging in. You could have just a username and password. Pop that in, sign in, be good to go. Or you might sign in with an organizational URL. This could be if your organization has a lot of licenses and it authorizes it through another login you have. This is very common if you're at an institution of higher education where it's connected with a site license. And that's what we're going to do here. You are with UMass. This is our organizational URL, UMass-Amherst. Once we pop in UMass-Amherst into our organizational URL, we're going to hit continue. It's going to ask us for our full login information, and you're going to do that at umass.edu. Have to add the at umass.edu piece to this. If you don't, it's going to not like you. It's part of the way that the new UMass accounts are handling the kind of Microsoft patch through the licensing here. Once you get that all set up, and I'll put my information here in the background, you'll essentially be passed through a very similar set of screens for UMass folks, like you were logging into your email or into any of the other things that we use this for. If you're signing in with other institutional credentials, imagine it'll look similar to those as well. When you hit sign in, it'll, of course, go through any security measures that you need to go through. So this could be two-factor authentication. This could be, a code or something sent to your Duo device or whatever like that. And when you're done, you'll get this lovely successfully connected screen. It will continue to work normally. We like to see that. Once we're signed in, then we can continue working inside of Arc Pro. So again, once you're signed in, then you can work with it. If you're working on university computers, you might need to sign in every time you change computers. If you're working on your own personal computer, you should only need to sign in once. This, of course, then accesses all of your cloud data, if you have cloud data stored, and all the other goodies with ArcGIS Online. That's not what we're focusing on right now. Now we need to decide, okay, how do I start here? All of our options are here in the middle. New, we want something new. We don't have anything to start with. Have a few options. We're most interested in a new map. What this builds for us is a template. Templates are, or project templates are the basis of how Arc Pro operates. When we click on any of these templates, it's going to spool up just a basic setup of these different ways of looking through our geospatial data. We want to look through a map. You can also start without a template. It kind of is a quicker mode into working with data in Arc, but it doesn't set it up as nicely. So because we like the support of the setup of putting everything nice and organized, we're going to start with a blank map template. Notice that it gives us a name. Just going to call this Lab 1 walkthrough. And then it gives us a location. The location is very important to make sure that you know where this is going. Remember that computers store files with file paths, almost like a web address, just like you'd go to google.com or whatever other website you might go to. We can navigate to specific files or folders using a file path. So in this case, this is wanting to save in C users. That's my username, documents, ArcGIS projects, and it's going to go there. This is my own computer. This is my personal computer. So that's probably a good place for it. I'm not going to lose it. It might be tough to find though. If you're working on a computer that is not yours, this computer might be wiped. It might not be secure. It might be something that goes through a reset every so often. So this probably isn't a safe place to put the data. You and you alone are in charge of where your data goes. When doing GIS, when operating within everything inside of ArcGIS, you're in control. It's really important to remember that you're the one who says, put my data here. You're the one who says, save my analysis there. You're the one who says, export my map here. That's all on you. So when we're thinking about this location, we want to think about where is a location I'm going to have access to? Where is a location that I'm going to be able to access long-term? Where is a location that I'm going to be able to access consistently? If you're on your own computer, see users documents is a great spot. If you're not, you should put this in a flash drive. Would be an all right spot for it. If you don't have a flash drive, that's fine. You could just dump this on your desktop. And then when you put it on your desktop, like so, see user's desktop, you could clean it up later, upload it to a cloud file sharing service like Google Drive or Box or OneDrive or whatever you might be using. So I'm going to put it on my desktop, see user's desktop. I'm going to call it Lab 1 walkthrough, and I'm going to hit OK. Now I have my container. Now I have my project. So the last part of part A here, the first part of the lab, is just kind of a little exploration of what might be going on inside of Arc. You'll notice that it's tabbed at the top, like many current Windows programs, Microsoft Word and Excel and all the like kind of have this ribbon style tab. So you have different tabs that have different components. So you might guess the map tab contains map stuff, and the insert tab contains things to put on the map, and the analysis tab contains things to analyze what's on the map, so on and so forth. One of the great things about Arc Pro is that you can hover over anything and it'll tell you a little bit about what's going on. These little help tips are super awesome. They are very helpful in clarifying what is going on in these programs. There's a nice little project tab too. If you need to save, done some work, you can save it real quick. You might have additional windows like the geoprocessing tab or the catalog tab up. I even got the Python tab up. We don't need that right now, so I can close it. It also starts with a default base map. Where your base map starts is up to the administrators of your account. So UMass, start on UMass. I can change this base map if I want to using the base map button, so on and so on. So Arc Pro, there's no easy mode. There's nothing that's going to make it easier or hide different buttons or keep things simplified. You get everything all at once. Lots of pluses and minuses to that. There's no easy mode. It's right into the deep end. So whenever you're confronted with options, trying to figure out which buttons do what, anything like that, one of the easiest things to remember is that you can hover over a button. It'll tell you what they do. Lots of things are hidden within these tabs that generally organize things pretty well. And another good thing to remember is just hit that save button often. If you're ever not sure about something you're about to do, hit save. It can't hurt to save a bunch of stuff. So that's our walkthrough for the first part of Lab 1 here. We learned how to sign into ArcGIS Pro and looked at some of the basic functionality of the document, the map document here. We saved our project in a place that is useful for us, and we'll keep going from there.